Okay, so my friend Amanda told me that I should make a video talking about the Miami Zombie. For those of you who don't know, in Miami Saturday there was a man named Eugene or Rufus or something like that who was found on the side of a road eating a homeless man's face. And some people were driving by and they stopped. Well, they didn't stop. But they, called the cops and were like, hey, there's a man on the side of the road eating this guy's face. And the cops showed up and they were like, hey, get off him, hey, get off him, hey, get off him, hey, get off him. And the guy wouldn't get off of the homeless man whose face he was eating. And so they shot at him and, he still didn't stop. And he kept on eating the guy's face and they kept on shooting and he growled at him. Kept on shooting and he fell over dead. Supposedly what they're believing his problem was that he was snorting or sniffing bath salt. And first off, what caused anyone, him or anyone else who has ever done this, to start sniffing or snorting or smoking bath salt, whatever you do with it? Who just was like, hey, you know what? Weed or meth or crack or coke doesn't do it for me anymore. Why don't I try bath salt? That's my first problem with this whole story, is the fact that, it's bath salt. Whether it is or isn't, that means somebody somewhere has tried it at least. And who does that? Who snorts bath salt? Okay. My second problem with this whole story is the fact that none of the 5 people that called the cops stopped. They all just kept on driving and called the police. Alright? I understand if you have children in the car not wanting to stop and take part in this. But one of the guys was on a motorcycle, which most of the time means he's probably big and butchy. Maybe not. Either way, he should have stopped and been tried to do something. Picked up something, thrown it at the guy's something, and not just kept on driving. I don't know if the man who was being attacked made it, or if he died. I don't know. But there's a huge possibility that if somebody would have pulled over and tried and attempted to stop the attack, there would have been a way higher possibility of this man living. I mean, that's how selfish Americans are, is the fact that they can watch somebody be attacked, having their face eaten, and they won't stop and do anything about it. I mean, they could have at least stayed to make sure the cops got there. But no, nobody stopped. I mean, there was even security footage found that shows the attack. And I mean, 90% of the time, if there's a security camera, there's a security guy watching the security cameras. And I understand that the video wasn't, that close, but you could still see 2 guys crawling down the freaking road. One guy trying to get away, and the other guy, crawling after him, eating his face. I mean, whoever was watching the freaking security footage, the least he could have done was gone out there to try to figure out, hey, what's going on over here? But that, like I said, that's the least somebody could have done, was to figure out what was going on and tried to help. But no, nobody stopped. Nobody tried to stop the attack. Nobody made sure the cops were there. No, they just called 911 and said, hey, someone's getting their face eaten on the side of the road. Come do something about this. I don't know. I think my really big problem with this whole thing is not the fact that some idiot had decided to snort bath salt, was the fact that nobody stopped to help the man. Nobody stopped to, you know, even make sure the cops showed up. It was all just, hey, someone's getting their face eaten, you guys should show up. That's it. Nobody stopped to fix anything, nothing. And stuff like this kind of makes me a little ashamed to be in America, because I bet there in other parts of the world, if something like that were happening, at least one person would stop. I mean, you know, yeah, in like Vietnam or something, or Iraq or wherever it is, I'm not that good with world places, but you know, they think that the men are almighty. But I bet if another man was getting the crap beat out of him or eaten, somebody else would stop. Maybe not a woman, but another man. If it was happening to a woman, it probably wouldn't happen in like Iraq or something, or Egypt or wherever. But if another man was getting his face eaten off, I bet another man would have stopped and would have tried to do something about it. But in America, we don't have time to help a man getting his face eaten off. Good job, America.